Hey, what's up? It's Sifu Kuttel, and I have here the LK Chen Combat G Halberd from the Han Dynasty. Now, this is a high-fidelity one-to-one reproduction of an existing antique. So this is something that was an evolution of the Ge, the dagger axe, from back in the Bronze Age and into the Warring States period. The G took it to the next level as it is a single construction blade, and it actually goes through the pole itself and still has a mounting bracket to really secure it into place. It has holes inside the blade that allows it to be tied and secured to the pole as well, which allows it to be used with a lot more force. You have techniques where you can do twisting and ripping and pulling. It's got a lot going for it, and this really took over the battlefield in the Han Dynasty. I have a couple other videos on this if you want to know more about the history and different mountings, because it wasn't always on a long pole like this. Sometimes it would be on a shorter pole for handheld, and even the blade itself would be held and used in combat. Now, we're going to be testing this in 3 tests today. We're going to be looking at the plunge test, the pierce test, and then the handling test. And I'm really interested to see how this will do, especially because of this side blade and how that may affect the weight overall. But we really want to see more so for this forward blade and how this would act like a spear. So let's get to testing. For the plunge test, I'm going to suspend the tip of the blade 20 centimeters over the light target, and then I'm just going to let it drop. So everything that's going to be powering this is the weight of the blade itself and the pole behind it and gravity. So I'm going to set it up. Make sure that we're at 20 centimeters. And then we'll drop it. All right, so really nice puncture here. Just by dropping it, we really sunk it in. It felt really solid too. So even just pulling it out, this is some good distance, and especially because you see how the distal taper is a little bit wider at the base here and then really aggressive towards the tip. And that puts us at 8 centimeters for just the puncture test from a 20 centimeter drop. Really good numbers here. So now let's see how far it can pierce into the target with some manpower behind it. For this test, we are going to be using the light target again, and I'm going to be just using a forward thrusting technique. So the thing about this particular test is the target is going to be freestanding. There's no resistance. It's not a fixed target. So all of this momentum, when it makes that impact, it's going to start pushing the target back as well. So we want to see how far we can pierce into it before it just gets knocked away. If you have a fixed target, no doubt this would probably pierce all the way through. So I'm just going to set this up. Again, it can be knocked off the target stand, or we can plunge into it with the D. And then from here, I'm just going to do a standard forward thrust. Well, not only did we get an excellent pierce into this, but we actually broke through. So this is the first to cut all the way through or pierce all the way through the freestanding target. And I want to say, before we go any further and you make any judgment on the spear tests that I've done, this was driven by both hands. I use both hands to do the forward thrust. When I do a spear thrust, I power only with the back hand, and the front hand just guides it in towards the target. So this allows it a little bit more power. I have both arms working into it, and obviously you can see how that paid off. We actually went all the way through. Now there's one final test we're going to work on and take a look at: the consistency in handling and accuracy. For the handling test, we're going to be looking at accuracy, but more so consistency. So I am going to be aiming at this little wooden skewer, and I'm going to be doing a basic technique. And similar to the spear, it's going to start with a block, a cover, and then I will move in for a thrust. But I will be using the double-handed thrust as I did before. So that's one deviation to the original test itself. Now, keep in mind, I am aiming for this little skewer, but it's not so much about how many times I can hit it. It's more so the consistency in the distance and the proximity to the target itself. Even if I miss, as long as I'm still in that same area, I still have consistency in handling. That's what we're really looking for here. Now, I'm interested because, again, this is probably where the forward blade is going, or that side blade is going to have an effect on it, because I'm starting with some different techniques before I move in. So this may cause a little bit of dipping, but then again, I do have a base cap on the pole, so that also may change the dynamics. It may keep it very well balanced. We'll have to see. Well, there you have it. I'm actually quite surprised at how well this handled. It was very consistent. The one thing that you may have noticed already is that I did change the technique a little bit. I noticed right off the bat that I wouldn't be able to do a full forward thrust with the side blade pointing down. That would probably run into my target stand. So turning it to the side did add some extra dynamics to it. This would probably still try to pull, and I was expecting something to that effect, but overall it was actually quite consistent. I didn't feel like this side blade was pulling me in any particular direction. I felt very well balanced with the entire pull. The blade is quite light, and I think just having that base cap on there was a nice counterbalance to it. And as well, the shape of the pull in the five-sided shape made it really easy to continue to keep the grip consistent as well. So I was able to realign the blade in the direction that I wanted to when I went in for that thrust. So I hope you enjoyed this test of the G Halberd from all the way back in the Han Dynasty. Some amazing technology from over 2,000 years ago, and something that you can have in your hands as well. This is by LK Chen. I'll leave a link down below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next.